Hi and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share such an easy and affordable DIY. I want to share this cute scarecrow from the Dollar Tree, and I am so happy how this came out. You guys could create this and add it on your doorway, add it on your wreath, or just in a cute basket. So what you're gonna need are some mesh. The good thing is that I only used 2 of the mesh and I still have some extra to go because this is not a huge or big pumpkin. I also purchased this Halloween pumpkin, and you will also gonna need some fabric or anything that you could use to cover to create the skin. So I used some leftover fabric, but you guys could use anything that you find from the Dollar Tree. And also you're going to need the mop. You will see that I created a maple tree, so I needed the stick of the mop, but I had the remaining bottom part of the mop, so I'm going to use this on the scarecrow. And I also have some bail that I purchased from the Dollar Tree. So what I did, I glued that to the mop, and this is how it came out. So let's go ahead and get started with this cute DIY. So the first thing I did was I cut some mesh. I did some of the yellow, then I did the other mesh, and once it was cut, I want to make sure that most of them were cut almost the same size. I go ahead and I do this technique and I hold this mesh together, and now I'm gonna do the same technique with another color mesh. I really like to mix and match, and right here you get to see how that mesh looks like. So here I use, the best thing to do is just cut them. That way they're ready to go once you're ready to do this trick, and this is pretty easy to do. Just go ahead and do this technique that you see here, and you guys could use a pipe cleaner, but instead I just use this ribbon because it does have that orange color and it's easy for me to apply that on the wreath later on. So I'll go ahead, I already had these cut as well. I tied these two this mesh together, and I'm ready to go. So this is what you're gonna do. I didn't need that many for this wreath, which I was very shocked because usually you do need a lot. You guys could put them in the front or in the back. I didn't really need to put some in the back, but that is up to you. And I didn't have to use all the mesh that I purchased. Only a little bit was needed. And go ahead and do this until you feel like you're happy with what you have. Next, let's go ahead and remove everything that is on this cute wreath or pumpkin decoration. I started removing this. You guys could keep it or throw it away, but I did keep the eyes. You will see that the eyes are like triangles, so I kept the eyes and the nose, and that's exactly what I used for the scarecrow for the face later on. So go ahead and remove everything. You might just go ahead and untie it, or then just cut it if you like. This is how it looks like. So now we have this empty canvas ready for us to go ahead and work with, and this is everything that I kept. So this is almost what you need. This is a fabric that I had extra, so I'm gonna go ahead and use that on the top, and I'm also going to do that on the hat later on. So once I cut it to size, now it's ready for me to apply some hot glue. And the good thing is, because the fabric was so a little bit thick, it was easy for me to apply the hot glue and it did not feel hot at all. So we're going to go ahead and start with the borders and the bottom part of that line, because on that other line that you saw on the top is where we're going to be applying the mesh that we did. So sorry guys, I thought it did record it, but it didn't record me hot gluing it, but it was pretty easy to do. So what you're gonna do now is remove a few of these strands, and this is how I remove the strands, or which is gonna be the hair for the scarecrow from the mop. It was just easy to remove, as you see it here. I wouldn't need that many, and here I'm gonna show you how it looks like already, the face with that fabric and where I glued it. And now I'm going to use those hooks as my guide. I applied hot glue in it, and I wrap the mop or the hair that is going to be the hair. Leave it pressed until it dries or until that hot glue sets, and then continue with the rest. On the front, I did cut that same mop just to give it kind of like bangs, and then I hot glue that, so you will be able to see it here. Then I also copied that same technique on the top, and I did hot glue that on the top, that fabric to cover the hat, and I left that gap in between because that's where we're going to be applying the mesh that will be easier to just tie it together. So I really like how everything looks like here. You could just see it, the bangs, and now we're ready to just tie the mesh. And this, guys, this is really easy to do, as you can see. And I love how we were able to change one item from the Dollar Tree and then just change it all together and keep it fall theme. Now here comes the fun part. All I did was from the back, I just tied a few of those blemish, and as you can see, there's not that many tied together. I didn't need that many to complete this look. You guys could continue adding more, but I didn't want the face to cover too much or even the bangs, so that's why I just left a little bit, but that's up to you. And you guys could use any mesh that you like as well. Really just like the mesh. You could add mesh and ribbons and raffia, but I haven't been able to find any in any of the stores that I have gone to. So now what we're gonna do is, I only had 2 left, so I'm going to apply those 2 on the tip, and I love how this came out. So this was pretty easy, and whatever I had left is what I used to apply on the tip. And what I'm going to do is just tie it together, and I was able to tie 2 of those on the top or the tip of the hat. So after you finish with that, now we're ready to do the face. I thought the face was going to be a little bit harder, but these pieces that I kept made it so much easier. So here's the same triangle or the nose that I got from the pumpkin, the Halloween pumpkin. So now I hot glue that in the center, and these are the eyes, but I needed to make it into a circle shape. Yes, the pen wasn't working, so I used something that was round. I used that tube that I finished using the mesh. There's a tube that it came in, and I used that almost as my guide. So I traced that, and then I was able to cut the triangle to give it that round shape. So once I was happy with how it looked like, I did hot glue that on the top to create those eyes, and now we were ready to go. So guys, you could leave it like this if you like, but I wanted to use this veil, which is so uncomfortable to use, but I thought it was going to give it that raffia look that I was going for. So I started applying hot glue on the strands or the hair or the mop, and I started just hot gluing some of that on top. And I really like how this came out. So you could continue doing that, or you could just skip this technique. And you guys, you could leave it like how it is right now, and I think it looks so cute. But then I'm going to show you how to do the mouth, which was pretty easy. I used a Sharpie, but like I mentioned, you guys could leave it like this, or go ahead and continue with the next step, which is almost like, I think, the last step. So for this step, you want to make sure you know exactly where you want each of the corners of that smile to start and end. So with the Sharpie, I did really small lines, and I did kind of like a curve. So I started on one side, and once I was halfway, when I was near the nose, I'm like, I needed to know exactly where it's gonna end, and that's when I started drawing the other end of that smile, and then I continued to meet that line. And then you're going to continue doing this with the triangle, which is the nose. Just do really small lines to create those stitches, and it doesn't have to be perfect, which this is what I love, and I feel like this gave it so much character to the scarecrow. So continue that with the nose, and then move on to the eyes. And it's funny how a little bit of that orange is still coming through, because it was hard to come up when I removed it from the pumpkin. So guys, this concludes this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did creating this look. Here you see it without the mouth or any other stitches added. You could leave it as like this way as is, or you could just, guys, go ahead and add that last technique that I share. I'm going to show you different ways how I did this or where I put it. It looks so cute on the chair, but also you could add it on a wreath. This was a wreath that I did for the red truck that had pumpkins. I could leave it on this section so you guys could check it out. Check out that wreath, and I just removed the truck. You could remove the truck and just add, or just leave the truck and just add this right on top. And this is the wreath that is on my door. I really love how this came out, and it was using a little different type of mesh, but it's so cute for the fall. So thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you're having a wonderful week, and until the next video, bye.